There is a weight to walking in this world, a spiritual weight. It's not only the wars we see, but sometimes the wars we feel. Someone enters your life, and although their smile seems sincere, something in your soul feels unsettled, and you can't fully put yourself into it. Even if you try, you sense that something is off. Their laughter feels empty, the energy they bring is heavy. Their words flow smoothly, but life does not speak through them. The devil does not come with a red cape and sharp horns. As Charles Spurgeon once said, sometimes the greatest deceptions are made by those who win our favor and enter our hearts. But no matter how attractive, under the devil's smile, there is always a trap. Indeed, not everyone who enters our life is sent by God. But how can we discern this? So do you feel this kind of hidden darkness energy from the people around you? Share your observations with us in the comments. In this video, we will dive into 4 signs that a man in your life might be a sorcerer. We will explore how deception is often hidden and how the enemy uses people to distract, wear down, and destroy others. Let's uncover these plans, arm ourselves with the truth, and learn. The number 1 sign to protect your life from spiritual attacks. Sometimes they carry a dark presence. You don't need to see someone's actions to realize that something is wrong. Your soul can sense it. One of the most obvious signs of a sorcerer is the dark presence they carry when they are near you. You can feel this as a weight. There is an eerie, hard-to-explain discomfort, as if this person is walking under a dark cloud, and when they are around, the atmosphere changes. The unease you feel is a spiritual warning and should not be ignored. When you let this person into your home, even if they leave physically, imagine that the darkness they carry doesn't leave with them. The atmosphere changes, and strange things begin to happen. Fear creeps in. You can't sleep at night. You hear odd sounds, and even catch glimpses of shadows out of the corner of your eye. You feel it. You're uncomfortable in your sanctuary. These are not random events. They are signs of spiritual residue. As Charles Spurgeon wisely said, the most effective way to weaken people is to separate them from God. That is when spiritual chaos begins. The darkness in some people is not just their behavior. It can be a spiritual effect. This person may be carrying a darkness that impacts the areas they enter, depending on their lifestyle, actions, or covenants. Your home, your sanctuary, should be a place of peace. That's why it's so important to protect it. Do not allow someone carrying spiritual burdens into your space. It can bring chaos and fear into your life. Pray, anoint your home's doors and windows regularly, and declare that your space belongs to God. If someone has entered your life and left this spiritual weight behind, ask God to cleanse your home and break any bonds or agreements that may have been made unknowingly. Secondly, they mix spiritual beliefs. One of the most evident signs of a sorcerer is spiritual confusion. These people often mix various beliefs, practices, and ideologies in a tangled web of deception. They may seem spiritual or even intellectual, but what they do is twist the truth for their own purposes. One minute they are talking about the universe, the next they quote Quan, then mention astrology, crystals, or even claim that women are God. Their words are a dangerous mixture of half-truths and lies designed to confuse and manipulate. It's not about searching for the truth, it's about seeking power. These people don't settle for submitting to God. Instead, they create their own religion. They often mix different spiritual systems to gain authority because they crave power and recognition. They want to be idolized so they can build a following. Others will worship them, feed their egos, and make them feel in control. Mixing truth with lies doesn't dilute the lie, it taints the truth. Charles Spurgeon's quote reminds us of the dangers of spiritual compromise. Everything mixed with the truth eventually becomes a deception. The truth always shows itself clearly. One of the most alarming signs of this behavior is when these individuals begin to claim divinity with phrases like "I am God" or "I have the truth." History is filled with examples of cult leaders who claimed to be the Messiah and deceived thousands in the process. Their goal is not just manipulation, but to control and test every soul as one. John 4 teaches us to measure their words against God's word, to pay attention to what they say and do. If they speak in confusion or contradiction, it's a sign. The third sign is spiritual sabotage, targeting your calling. Not everyone who enters your life is sent by God. In fact, one of the most dangerous signs is when a sorcerer enters your life. If God has given you a divine purpose, their agenda is to derail it. They are not attracted to you as you are. They are drawn to the godlight that shines through you. These people often act as if they care, giving compliments and saying the right things. But from the start, they are planning your downfall. Their aim is to disrupt your peace, to take you off course, and to spiritually deplete you. It may not happen overnight, but over time you'll notice that everything starts to fall apart. Your finances may deteriorate, your mental health may worsen, and your spiritual life may stagnate. Looking back, you'll see that everything began to go wrong when they entered your life. It's not a coincidence, it's spiritual sabotage. Charles Spurgeon once said, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them." At first, sorcerers are skilled at wearing masks. They know how to appear supportive and loving, but their true nature will eventually be revealed. The question is, will you recognize it before they do harm? Be cautious. They will use manipulation, charm, and even gifts to form unhealthy spiritual ties. They see your potential, and their mission is to destroy it. Who have you purified or distanced yourself from to protect what God has given you? If you want more advice on this, subscribe to our channel and join us on this journey together. Remember, this is a spiritual battle, as Ephesians 6:12 reminds us that it is not about flesh and blood, but about the authorities, powers, rulers of the darkness of this world, and spiritual forces in the heavenly places. Protect your calling. Pray earnestly for the ability to discern in every relationship. If someone brings more chaos than peace, distraction rather than encouragement, or harm instead of good, take this as a sign. Cut the ties immediately, seek God's protection, and refocus on your purpose. The fourth sign is their involvement in spiritual activities without God. Not all spiritual activities come from God. One of the clearest signs of a sorcerer is their involvement in forbidden spiritual practices. They engage in spiritual activities, but without the authority of Christ. These activities include making covenants, using spells, amulets, healing herbs, or other mysterious tools. All of these activities pose a spiritual threat and can affect a person's life. Stay vigilant. Ephesians 6:12 says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." If this video has been helpful and you want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Protect your spiritual health and safety, and let God's light always guide your way.